money, Lebowski? Where's the money, Lebowski? Where's the fucking money, shithead?
It's down there somewhere. Let me take another look.
Has the whole world gone crazy? Am I the only one around here who gives a shit about the rules? Market zero.
Entering a world of pain.
Oh, my goodness. The first time I saw that scene, I was dying. Like, I fucking, melted my couch with my own laughter. It was unbelievable. If you haven't seen The Big Lebowski, folks, you're missing an essential part of life.
It's a couch melter, that's for sure.
Hello, everybody. This is another amazing edition. Our first double-digit episode. This is it right now.
Number 10.
So we're really excited to be here at the Good Talk Podcast. I'm Jonah Lanto. I've got my brother from another mother, Chris Rubb.
Good evening, everybody.
And our very special guest for the episode 10 is none other than Turdman the Great, the legendary Turdum, the fucking turd slayer, shit blaster himself, goddamn motherfucking Turdman.
Did you just give everybody pink eye or what?
If it is possible to get pink eye through a microphone, I just did that to everybody, for sure. We love having Turdman here. Terry Allen, a.k.a. Turdman, joining us. He's really fucking tired today. He barely made it. Why are you so tired, Turdman? What's going on?
Oh, Christmas and a mother that don't know when to quit when it comes to decorating. I'm not kidding you either. It ain't funny.
You say she was going to decorate the dogs too?
Well, I
Did I
don't
misunderstand that?
The dogs.
Is that what she's doing now? As you're sitting here, she's done spraying fake snow. I picture a lady spraying fake snow on a little labradoodle or something.
Oh, well, there's this Pomeranian.
Oh, God.
Actually, there's two of them. And they're just horrible little creatures, as everybody knows.
Hateful little beasts they are.
One don't have no teeth.
And doesn't his tongue hang out? This poor little dog, no teeth, and his tongue just hangs out the side?
The only thing keeping a dog's tongue in is a dam of teeth. You remove those.
Well, he wasn't very interesting until that, but that's kind of a...
Yeah, so you and the round one were today, folks. Of course, Turdman. We're speaking of Gramma Helen, the wonderful, kind, sensational, patient, virtuous, considerate, loving Gramma Helen.
She's a sweet lady.
She is the best.
I'm 55, and I think she still wants an abortion.
Wow.
Oh, fuck.
I get that impression sometimes. You know, we were talking about the birth control pill last time, and she was kind of a dumb farm girl. I might have lucked out there. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. Yeah, there are certain people that are put here to just... I don't know if it's called a tormenting, but that it gets there sometimes, though. The torment factor.
The torment factor. What kind of torment factor do you have in your daily life, Rob? Do you have any?
I'm very, very low and blessed to have I'm very low on the torment factor.
You're very free of torment?
Yeah, very, very low.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't have anybody there just kind of every time you think you're getting up a little bit too up about things to inject a little bit of negativity in that.
No, I've actually gone through a pretty major substantial portion of my adult life avoiding all of that. So I guess I've created my reality, and yeah, no, I don't have a whole lot of that.
You have avoided the plague.
Yeah.
I can't be alone in this. I know there's somebody out there that...
Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of people trapped in the torment, you know. I don't know, but maybe that's sort of a method of getting trapped in your own prison, and a lot of people allow themselves to do that.
Definitely.
Or, victim of circumstance, quote unquote. And then there you go. We'll fire up our first Good Talk question real quick here. Choice or circumstance? I mean, it's a pretty easy one, but we can load into that. Choice or circumstance right there. Here you are, Turdman, with torment from a glorious, wonderful, good-hearted, kind-hearted, big-butted lady in Gramma Helen.
Don't forget the little dogs too.
And the dogs.
Her little dogs too.
And her little dogs.
Yeah.
So what do you think? What do you think, Turdman? Choice or circumstance?
Choice or circumstance.
Well, since we're talking about the little dog, I don't think she has a choice. Circumstance dictates that riding a broom is out. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna go with choice, of course. Not saying that I believe in. Of course, we've covered the free will aspect, but we are still making choices. However,
and the jury's still out on free will.
It is.
Like I can't confirm or deny its presence.
But of course, you can't always have it both ways. Circumstance is definitely going to play into things. I've said in my life before, I think timing is everything.
For sure.
In a lot of aspects, whether it's in a career or it's just in a beautiful festival moment where you encounter random people, as you're pulling into the festivals and you meet these new beautiful wonderful people and you create this community with them as you go inside. And
anytime you go about creating an experience for yourself, timing seems to play a role. That it's ineffable. You can't nail it down. So
timing.
It's not like I can write you a prescription for a
Sure.
certain experience because there seems to be a temporal factor involved.
And it's just weird. There is a temporal factor because you think if, I don't know, like one more gas stop or anything
right, yeah.
would have changed the
Yep.
timing of your arrival.
Yep.
And that's not to say
Your camping spot.
Yeah,
and
your
you
camping spot and who you're next to and who you roll in there with. And
You do
and-
have control over that, but you can't possibly grasp the implications of every little placing of every little timing
Not
bit
at all.
that you just can't do that. It's too complicated.
But your choices did lead you there.
They do.
And the circumstance is the result of the choice then, is it not?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. So I'm rolling choice. I don't what do you think, Turd?
Yeah. I would have to choose choice.
Okay. Yeah, I dig that. Folks, if you're out there listening, we always recommend hitting us up on Twitter or Facebook. We are at the Good Talk 5, the Good Talk Podcast on Facebook. Let us know what you think, choice or circumstance. Of course, they're all tied together. I love it, and I'm going to roll out. I like the food ones a lot, and I don't, there has to be a food one this time. So, donuts or cookies? Oh yeah.
Well,
I mean,
don't
like,
know.
I'm lacing into you with that, like, because I'm a big jelly-filled donut guy.
Well, I
myself.
OD'd on Oreos one time,
Oh, I know another guy who did that.
and it was horrible.
Listen, he just said he OD'd on Oreos.
Oh, he OD'd.
He
Yeah.
OD'd on Oreos.
That sounds possible.
It is.
I feel like I've
possible.
danced with that devil, but never quite. Like I've circled that drain. You know what I mean?
I brought that
I
on
tell
I
ya.
brought that on a date once, but I didn't bring it home.
I never met mom.
Oh, it's glorious. What
Yeah.
happened when you OD'd on Oreos?
Well,
Wow.
I'll tell you, every time I went to the bathroom, it smelled like cookies.
Oh. It's like your body just stops processing it.
Just rolling into the toilet. It's just a
Yeah.
mixture of Oreo cookie ass.
At a
Yeah.
certain point, your body stops processing the Oreos,
Oh.
and it's just like, fuck it, throw them through. You just got to get rid of these things.
It was like tar and feather, trying to wipe tar and feathers off.
Getting peanut butter out of a shag carton.
Oh, my God. It was horrible.
I can about imagine.
And then, you don't feel too good while you're doing it anyway.
No, of course. You
And
don't have
it's-
time to think about that. You
Such
probably.
a thing as Oreo sweats?
I bet there is.
If
My-
there's meat sweats, I feel like there's got to be Oreo sweats.
I love it. You guys don't always don't know this, but a few friends of mine, I've said this. The only person I know grosser than Uncle Turdman is my buddy Gross Steve, and even in my phone I have him as Gross Steve, my friend. At some point, he's going to join us in the podcast. I love that man, but he's definitely, he rivals the gross level of Uncle Turd, and he's the only person I know who has ever also made the same statement that Turdman just did here in reference to ODing on Oreos. Steve does not eat Oreos anymore now.
Now,
I do.
the LD50 of Oreos. Are we talking?
I was looking at
The LD50.
The LD50 on Oreos. Are we talking like one sleeve, two sleeves, an entire box of them? How?
all of them.
Oh
yeah.
my God!
All
In
of
one sitting.
Milk too, and if
Milk.
you're,
Oh yeah, and
here's
that's
the
going to
deal.
coagulate
Here's the deal,
into
and
a pile of horribleness.
Well, I left the worst part of this out, and this is
You don't have to leave the worst part out.
Well, I'm lactose intolerant,
Oh, no.
So, yeah, it was
Turdman,
horrible.
folks,
It was horrible.
thank you for being here. That's amazing. So, what are you going cookies then? You're a cookie guy.
So he's obviously going cookies.
You're going
yeah.
cookies.
Well,
You're
know
not
what?
going donuts here.
Here's the deal. When people that know me see me with a glass of milk in my hand and cookies, I'm in trouble. They either, I got half the house to myself for the next day.
Sure.
There's an evacuation.
Yeah, or I think there's a plot, of like, but see, after I drink the milk, nobody's coming near me, so I'm safe.
I feel like that could.
So you're safe. So you are safe.
you could probably be weaponized at that point.
Oh yeah.
Turdman's only safety at home are his toxic fumigation
Emanations.
It's like his defense mechanism.
Window rattlers.
Well,
If you startle him, it'll emit foul, toxic gases.
Jesus, man. Are you a skunk?
No,
Okay.
I'm not.
But are you going cookies or donuts, motherfucker?
Well, like I said,
You're cookies.
I'm an in the closet cookie guy.
That's it.
Yeah, I have to.
Dude,
be.
you OD'd. You're not in the closet anymore.
I know.
Everybody knows.
Okay, I have to hide it from the rest of my family.
Oh, shit. Just late at night
Yeah.
In the closet, eating cookies.
Yeah,
In the
with
cover
milk.
of
But see, the
night.
Oreos and the milk, you can't do one without the other.
No,
of
this
course
is
not.
this is America.
So you're a cookie ninja, is what you're suggesting now.
Well, yeah, I'm a.
Huh?
I hide with my
Wow.
cookies. I don't hide the cookies. I hide the milk. And when they see the Oreos, they know I don't go one without the other.
So they know it's coming.
Yeah, they do.
It's like that's premeditated, dude. You are that's serious grounds right there.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
intent. That's intent.
You do question the love that you have for your family when you do that.
Rob, what do you think? Cookies or donuts, bro?
I'm leaning towards donuts. I'm not a huge sweet tooth guy anyway, but I prefer the like a soft, the cake style of a donut rather than a crisp cookie. Unless they're soft cookies, that's what I'd go for. Not over a donut though.
So as to not be pretentious, I certainly have eaten more cookies in my life. I like donuts more though.
I feel like donuts have such a short shelf life.
I feel like picking a donut makes me an asshole.
Cookies are
in a
more
way, but-
available.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, it's true.
Bavarian cream.
Oh, yeah. I grew up. I grew up
Chocolate
eating
eclairs.
Long Johns,
Yeah.
man. I mean,
Yeah, that's the one.
as with many children across America, I'm sure a lot of us have awesome, wonderful pictures in a high chair with a chocolate Long John smeared all over your face.
Mine was an Oreo.
Oh,
And I somehow got one Oreo. Like there was just a picture of a 9-month-old baby in a high chair, completely like a sheen of Oreo over the entire baby. Yeah, that was me. I got one Oreo like everywhere in this one thin layer. Is impressive, really.
It was mixed with snot too.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt,
of course.
no doubt.
So I'm donuts though. I even though I've absolutely consumed more cookies. If I had to be one or the other, I like apple fritters a lot. And like I gotta roll in there. That's it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Turd.
Like I said, I go back to the Oreos and the milk.
That's it.
You know, I never
So
learned, I
you
never
don't
learned
like
my lesson.
you don't even, and that's a pretty limited spectrum of cookie love, dude.
Well, that is, to me, that's the only cookie there is.
Like
Well,
soft
oatmeal
ba-
raisin too,
soft
but
batch chocolate chip, something like that.
yeah, no,
Those are so good.
Monster cookies.
No.
It's fucking wonderful.
no,
just nice.
Oreos. It's got so there is
My absolute favorite cookie is the peanut butter cookie with the chocolate drop on top.
Kiss on there. They're
It's
so
the chocolate
good.
kiss on top.
My mom
It's the
makes
best thing
those.
ever.
They're so good.
My mom makes those as well, my
My
friend.
mom's
That's
are
the best.
better. I'm sure of it.
No, it's not a competition.
It is,
raisin,
and I
my
win.
It's not a
grandma made 'em.
contest.
I'm making it a
How
were
contest.
dare
soft.
you?
I like oatmeal raisin too, but you know,
Tur-
I would only buy the Oreo. If I was going to buy a cookie in a store, it would be Oreo.
yeah, when you cookie splurge, it's just Oreos and nothing.
Yeah.
Do you get double stuffed?
I look for the 2-for-1.
Just do you like the double stuffed or no?
No.
Have
no,
you ever tried the
just-
vanilla Oreos?
I've ventured off track there a few times, but I always come back to the.
There was a few
Yeah,
derailments.
Yeah.
I derailed into
Yeah.
a batch of vanilla cookies once. It was terrible.
Mistakes were made.
I went right back.
I felt horrible. I did.
That's fucking glorious, man. Rub, you got a question to contribute to the good talk tonight? I fucking love this. Everybody, I love having Turd here. This is fun.
Would you rather drive a race car or fly a plane?
Well,
I'd rather fly a plane.
Fly a plane?
Yeah.
I mean, if I could, no.
I'm sorry. Are you going for a third answer over there?
No.
All right.
If I could like safely be like a race car stunt driver and not have to risk death all the time, but I could have this awesome race car that would allow me to jump canyons and be really cool, and I would gain
Batmobile.
temporary flight in
well,
that.
that's a stunt car.
Yeah,
That's not a race
That's not
car.
a race car.
No.
So you're asking me if I want to be a fucking NASCAR driver or
like
a pilot?
Formula One or something.
Come on.
Or like a fighter jet.
I do like rally cars. So, but
Rally cars
rally car racing would
rally
be
cars are
so
race cars.
fucking fun.
Rally cars or race cars?
Like flying a plane. Yeah, lots of people drive cars. By percentage, less people are flying planes.
Oh, for sure.
That's the far more unique experience,
Yeah.
and that's the only way you can go with this.
Fair enough.
If you're picking cars, it's cool. There's a lot of fun ways to drive a car, but millions and millions and millions and millions of people are driving cars. I don't know what the number on pilots in the world is, but
But
it's
competitively, racing
in the
them.
thousands though. In the thousands.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
For pilots, it's not leaving the thousands. How many pilots do you think there
Oh,
are
there's got to be
worldwide?
thousands. I mean, if
Tens
you,
of thousands, I mean, right? Worldwide? What do you think? Turd?
There's a lot.
Hey, just to guess. We can Google it quick too, but we're gonna guess real quick. Everybody take a guess.
Worldwide, I would
How
say
many pilots do you think there are in the world?
1.2 million.
You're right in where I was gonna guess. About right that 1 million.
Really? That
There's
many?
probably
No.
over 100,000. There's probably over 10,000 flights a day, easily.
You guys are wrong. According to an article by Ian Seeger in Flyer magazine, there are approximately 130,000 commercial pilots.
Is that all?
That's commercial. 4,000 of which are female.
Worldwide.
That's a and not to make this about anything else, but crazy. There is a 32-to-1 male to female pilot ratio.
Wow.
Holy shit. And no offense, ladies, I kind of see that because the scariest people I've ever driven with in my life have all been women. I'm sorry. The only times in my life I've really feared for my life as a passenger, it was a female pilot, except for one time when it was Al Amsbaugh. That was fucking scary too. He's a
What about
he's a scary
helicopters now?
motherfucker.
Helicopters. How many female helicopter pilots? I wonder.
I don't know. Google doesn't necessarily have all the answers, but that's a crazy ratio. So they say 130,000 commercial pilots. If you mix in some
Man, that seems
Air
like it
Force,
should
if you
be
mix in
higher.
some Air Force pilots and shit, it's
Well-
not. No, I didn't think it would be anywhere near as high
Commercial
as you
pilots.
guys.
Now, I was thinking just regular old pilots worldwide.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
I would
But
say
that's not
there's
going to be 10-to-1.
It's not going to be 10. Even if you added 200,000 more pilots on top of this, it's still
still
you're not
only
getting anywhere
300.
near that million,
My dad had a pilot's license.
right?
Yeah, and he had it forever. You know, I think there's so many crop dusters. Would those be considered commercial pilots?
No.
Hang on, no, let me see.
Are you
This
just
is
talking
I want to
airlines?
aircraft maker boring. No, that was a wrong. That's wrong. Hang on, I've got more information here. See, you can't trust the internet, folks. We went with the first one.
You just can't trust your first answer.
Well, I'm going technicians, blah, blah, blah. So, aircraft maker Boeing forecasts that 558,000 new commercial airline pilots will be needed over the next 20 years. Okay. So they think that they're forecasting more air transit, but number of new pilots needed by 2034. Holy shit. So, no, that's actually accurate to the now, as far as I can tell. No, that number is pretty accurate to the current.
Now, commercial, is that like passenger, or would that include like FedEx planes?
Commercial
UPS?
means passenger.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
How many more, I guess when you start to number this, you probably don't have a hard figure when you start to factor in the private planes, private pilots.
It'd be really hard to gather up all that info.
Well, that's an interesting. Hey, if anybody out there has information to contribute to that idea, we would love for you to interact with us at the Good Talk 5 on Twitter or on our Facebook, the Good Talk Podcast. We love it when you do that. We really do take to heart suggestions that our listeners give to us. A big reason why we jammed on education in the last podcast was due to a suggestion from a listener, Lauren Peterson. So
I'm seeing a total of student pilots, recreational pilots, sport pilots, private, commercial, ATP, I don't know what that is, and other total pilots as of 2011, 618,000.
okay, there you go.
So it's like half of what we guessed.
That would literally mean,
and that's like everybody.
Millions upon
Yeah.
millions. Okay, here's
I was way low.
Here's a question. Now, out of all these pilots, how many of them do you think have seen something that they don't know what it is and kept their mouth shut because they want their ticket or whatever they call it?
Right.
What do you mean their ticket? They get the golden ticket eventually or something?
No,
like,
the
what?
pilot license is the ticket.
Okay.
Like you can't be.
And if you're saying, "Hey, I seen the little green men waving by me," they take their pilot license away, or they get grounded.
You risk being ostracized by the community and having
a desk.
Yeah.
If there's questions about your mental capability, they'll ground the shit out of you, I'd imagine.
Yeah. That's crazy.
And what?
Well, they did a test where they discovered dozens of half drunk pilots in the last year. I mean, that happens all the time.
That I support.
What
about the pilot that intentionally flew his plane right into the mountainside because?
What do you mean? What about him?
He was.
You tell me what about him.
He
I
was
don't know.
mentally unstable. How many of these guys get
What guy?
evaluated?
Where? When? Who?
The pilot that was mentally unstable. I think he was a French pilot. Is
this recent or when is this from?
I would say it was in the last year and a half, 2 years.
Okay.
I think I do remember hearing about
one of the recent. I know. I don't mean to call you out, but you're so vague. I'm trying to get the right information because people want to know.
Google machine.
Yeah. No, I know it doesn't. That's why I'm trying to be pointed so that we can find out.
I believe
by no
it was
means
a French pilot, and
Okay.
I can't remember the name of the airline. It was obviously.
Turdman wins at Jeopardy, folks. I want you to know
wins.
that. If you played Jeopardy with him, a lot of you would lose. I want you to know. Depending on the subjects. What do you think your best Jeopardy subjects are? I've seen you slaughter Jeopardy. I really have.
History, geography, literature.
Yeah, okay. Like in any time like the general. What do you got, Rub?
Germanwings flight
That's what it is,
9525.
German. But he must have left from France. Or
Crash
something.
was deliberately caused
In the French Alps.
by the co-pilot in the Alps
That's what it was.
by co-pilot Andreas
Cool.
Lubitz.
I mean, not cool, but wow, good job.
Previously been treated for suicidal tendencies and declared unfit to work by a doctor. Lubitz kept his information from kept this information from his employer and reported for duty. During the flight, he locked the pilot out of the cockpit before initiating a descent that caused the aircraft to crash into the mountain.
Oh my
Everybody
God.
died.
How many people?
144 passengers and 6 crew. Everybody.
That was what, 2 years ago?
It was.
Well, not that long ago.
Show me a date, you bunch of dicks. 24 March 2015.
Wow.
So yeah,
What,
almost
2
2
years
years, like 2.5, 2 3/4 years.
And
So
that is scary because we do
That's
have
scary.
the doctor-patient confidentiality, and I respect it.
Well, until you're a
Holy
pilot,
cow.
sure.
holy cow, but for a guy to be diagnosed, so what, like the doctor had no obligation to alert the...
If you're declared unfit for work, I mean...
Yeah,
I would be really interested to know how he was able to withhold that information, I guess, from his job. How soon... and I haven't read about it, so I'm just going to throw these... I'm throwing the... Yeah,
like, I heard about it.
How soon was he flying after that diagnosis was put down? You know? How many times did he fly after that diagnosis was out there?
And what was the doctor thinking?
I'm sure they must have an
when he told
interview
this
with the
guy,
doctor.
say, okay, you can't fly. You need to...
I'm sure the doctor was following protocol. That's what doctors, they have laws that they can and cannot do.
For sure. Absolutely.
I mean...
I would like to think that there would be like a safeguard in place, so to speak, if you're a doctor of a pilot who's mentally unstable, where you can contact the company and say, look, this guy shouldn't be in the air. But again, that crazy confidentiality that is out there between patients and doctors, which I do totally respect. Because that would be putting a lot of power in a doctor's hand.
How many suicidal people, well, besides the terrorists, suicide bombers, or that's a whole new thing or another thing in itself, but how many suicide people, like, say, somebody's going to go hang themselves in their garage or shoot themselves in the head, is going to want to take 140-some people with them when they die? To me, I just...
Under German law, employers do not have access to employees' medical records. They actually only found out that he was declared unfit for duty is when they searched his apartment after the crash. They found a letter in a waste paper bin indicating that he had been declared unfit for work by a doctor.
Jesus.
So why would a doctor even declare him
just slipped through the
unfit
cracks?
if nobody, the right people don't know this?
Still relying on the patient to report to work.
Is this the honesty system they have over there?
Apparently.
With doctor-patient confidentiality, that's kind of how it has to be.
So I could draw my own license and say I'll fly too?
I would, I guess, of course I can't, I don't have any say in German policy, but I would like to believe that perhaps certain forms of employment should come with more scrutiny to mental health and more openness between your physician, but then that would also create lies and mistrust.
Sure could,
right? Like when you start to grind
you have to
on
have
that.
checks and balances.
Well, here's my question to this.
Yeah, you have to be open to a second opinion.
It would be the only reasonable thing for even having a diagnosis that says you are fit or unfit for work would have to go to the German equivalent of the FFA or whatever.
Right, right.
And why it wasn't.
It's a touchy subject with doctor-patient
Okay, then
confidentiality.
why would he even make that determination if he's fit for work or not?
Why does it matter why he made the determination now?
They're relying on the patient
there you go.
To admit that
we're playing the honesty
diagnosis.
system again. I mean, Jesus, give me a break.
Right and wrong is not
Okay, how many
necessarily,
people are going to go stand in front of the judge over here when they're traffic court and say, yeah, I did that? A lot of them do, but
right.
There are some people
especially when your livelihood is at stake.
Well, some people will never give up the lie, no matter what.
Particularly if you have
it's like it goes back to, everybody's seen what a 5-year-old looks like. I
just scored a drop over here, folks, not to derail this, but I just got a pin drop, and I'm really stoked about it from the Olive Night. Fucking boom. Podcasting and pin dropping. I fucking love pins. I'm sorry. I've got a thing, and there was a big drop tonight, and I was trying to catch the first drop while we were doing this, and I missed it.
I'm sure the family of everyone who died in that plane is really happy about your stupid pin.
Yeah, my dumb enamel pin.
But to me, it's an insult to say that this doctor made this diagnosis that he was unfit to fly,
right?
And the only person he told was the guy that was suicidal himself. You shouldn't be flying if you're going to kill yourself.
Well, that goes without saying.
Is this the conversation they had though?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, the conversation
Yeah.
the doctor had with the patient.
Yeah, hey, you're fucking nuts. Leave the airplanes alone.
And the patient's like, yeah, you're probably right. Maybe I
totally.
shouldn't fly. And then he tore that paper up and went and got on the fucking plane and crashed everybody into the mountain.
It's
I mean,
kind of what
no,
it
it's
sounds
funny.
like.
I'll show you a fucking crazy doc.
That would really be, no offense
You
to be able to find comedy, but in a lot of crazy shit happens all over the world. But in Europe, one time, this is a real story. A man put out some sort of weird Craigslist ad that he wanted to hang out with someone and then kill them and eat them.
Well, he said that in the ad.
That's it.
Huh.
Outright.
Anybody call him?
Yep.
And said, okay, whose fucking
For
fault?
real happened.
So did he kill him and eat him?
Yes.
Well, whose fucking fault is that?
It's nobody's fault, but
I kind
how
of think it's both their fault, really.
fucking crazy and hilarious. What do you think the situation was like when they were having dinner? They had dinner.
So were you
No,
really
they
gonna
had
do
dinner.
that, or?
And like he knew the dude who was gonna be killed and eaten. Like
easy
knew,
on the salt there, dude. Okay.
like he knew. They hung out. He knew that this other guy was gonna kill him and eat him, and straight up went with it.
I was wondering, like, is he testing whether or not the guy was really going to do it, or was he, like, really seriously okay with being murdered and eaten?
Really seriously okay with being murdered and eaten.
Well, we have to go back again
Why?
to, was there really a crime
What?
committed?
Okay. What I would like to know.
Was there really a crime committed?
What I would like to know on that is what kind of life this guy had to say, okay, I want to go meet this guy who's gonna kill me and eat me.
Sure.
You know?
I have no idea.
Well, what do you think they talked about at dinner? What do you talk about with somebody who's going to kill you and eat you later, and you know it?
Are you gonna eat my ass cheek first, or are you gonna save it for dessert?
Like, do you ask him what his favorite soccer team is?
You think
'Cause
there'll
it's
be
happened
leftovers?
overseas. What's that?
Do you think there'll be leftovers?
That's a lot to finish in one sitting. I'd have to think there's going to be leftovers.
Oh, there has to be leftovers. At that point.
Yeah, I mean, like, what goes good with butt cheek, you know?
No,
Fried
I don't.
potatoes and
Red
ass.
wine or white?
Like, fuck. So to be kind of face to face with the fellow that's going to kill you and eat you later, and you agreed to it. It's fuck.
Oh, yeah. What parts is he going to eat? Your liver, your kidneys?
Oh, I don't know what the best parts are. I did watch the show Hannibal, and if you watch what Hannibal did when creating meals from humans, it's pretty monumental, and everybody seemed to enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think anybody who would eat human flesh is fucking nuts. They know
Have they never had beef? Like, cows are really good. I would think human would be shitty.
I would eat a human if I had to.
Well, if I had
In the life or death situation.
Like in that Alive movie, or the
in the
Donner
movie Alive,
Party Crossing,
for sure,
or something.
or the Donner Party. I mean, I'm sorry, but if I'm not gonna wish for anybody to go down. But if it happens in
the Donner Party, it's happened. You know, I guess it has.
It's happened
you know,
a few times.
I've heard of it. You know, like people stranded at sea.
Yep.
You know, and
The most famous one in America would be that Donner Party.
The Donner Party, yeah. I mean,
And it's like you can develop an opinion here and now about what you would or would not do, but until you're faced with that situation, this is all speculation. But when it actually comes down to if you're going to starve and die or eat somebody, you can say anything you want to here and now, but...
Okay.
I agree. I just don't believe I would starve and die. I think I would be willing to survive.
Did they actually wait for somebody to die and then eat them?
No.
Or did they
in that party there was definitely a few fucking probably savage, violent, brutally minded men. When it got desperate and everybody was fucking dying and somebody was almost there, they probably slit their throat and ate them.
Why couldn't they say, okay?
I'm not suggesting
for
that
supper
happened.
tonight.
I'm not saying that
For
happened.
supper tonight.
Really
But because I don't underestimate the ability, the human will to fucking be evil. I'm
Well,
sorry.
why
When I
can't-
look at that
It's
situation
okay.
and
Just
the
wondering.
survival instinct that's going to kick in from somebody and what is represented from a starving, dominant, powerful, strong figure in you've got the weaklings and people are dying and you have no food, you're going to get desperate.
Yeah.
And you're going to be willing to do things that you shouldn't want to do.
So they killed and then ate.
Perhaps.
I can't confirm that.
I can't confirm
I'm
that.
reading up on it.
I'm sure there are suggestions out there. Nobody will ever know, or maybe somebody does. I'm simply saying, if there was a sickly person amongst the group and you're out of food, somebody was probably the fucking villain. Okay?
Yeah.
Somebody was the fucking villain. Somebody took a quote mercy on that person, and then they ate him.
But I guess.
Maybe that didn't happen until after the first person froze to death in their sleep. The first person freezes to death in their sleep. Everybody eats them. It's fucking cool. Then you still don't have any food. Okay. The next person who's fucking sort of, sick and weakly, they got to go. We all got to eat still. Once it happens, you're not going to stop eating. I'm telling you.
You've crossed that threshold.
I'm telling you. There's no way in my mind, if I was a gambling man, if there was any way to confirm or deny, I would be willing to bet at least one of the people who was eaten through the Donner Party was fucking murdered first.
Okay.
Not to say they weren't going to die anyways. That's the fucking quote unquote.
They
They
were
were going to die anyways.
Let's put a twist on it. What if it was somebody you knew or you were related to?
Oh, I ain't slipping the knife to them, and that would be really weird to eat them.
Wow, I didn't know it was so big.
The Donner Party.
87 members set out. 48 survived to reach California. Many of them having been eaten. Many of them having eaten the dead for survival.
Yeah, well, I mean that's like what, a 65% survival rate or something.
About that, yeah.
That's not bad. All things considered.
Yeah. I mean, I've played Oregon Trail before and scored lower than that.
Fuck yeah, I have. No, I mean it's nowhere that you want to be.
I've been over Donner Pass. There's a big statue there.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Like a singular statue or
Donner
a family
Pass.
statue,
No, it's
or
huge.
like
It's a big
like
statue.
the family kind of thing.
Yeah, the Donner Pass statue.
I've not been there.
I think you probably punch something like that up and
Oh,
see a
yeah.
picture of it along the highway there. Donner Pass. I've been through there a few times, and it just seems like, I don't know. It seems like the statue was quite big. If I don't know, it just maybe I'd heard about it when I was younger, and I was just maybe such an anticipated moment to actually go over Donner Pass.
It's pretty tall.
You know.
Well, that was a big story for you, wasn't it, when you guys were growing up?
Well, I don't know if it was a big story. It's just something that I was interested in. You know, it's I don't really know. I can't remember the caption that it is read on it, but it does.
Yeah, it's got
You
a
know.
plaque on it. It reads something.
It's a memorial, I would think.
Yeah.
Well,
Near this spot stood.
I wanted to come back real quick to
I just kind of wondered, is there a frying pan on it?
empty bottle of Frank's Red Hot sauce.
A few recipes there.
Put that shit on everything.
frying pan in a recipe book.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Donner Party Diner right over here. You know?
100 party of 2.
Yeah, literally.
Well, you just, you know, I think I would have got rid of my frying pan once I got some new
Yeah,
food.
you're never gonna look at that thing the same again.
No, yeah. You're never going to look at people the same again.
Yeah,
You
what
know?
if it was really delicious?
Oh yeah,
Like nothing else could like satiate your hunger after that.
yeah.
That is
Like-
it's like an old myth where if
That's
once
gross, that's
cannibals
crazy.
taste human flesh, like
Well,
nothing
wouldn't
makes
you have? Wouldn't
It's
you
like you're
have
poisoned.
yeah,
mad
like nothing
human
makes you-
disease?
That's
You know.
What's
If
what
you-
what,
if you
what
ate- if you
mad
ate the
human
brain-
disease?
Well, isn't that why they got the mad cow disease?
yeah. If,
I
you,
don't
if you
know.
eat the brain, like
is
that's
that what the guy in bath salts was doing in Florida? The crazy ass Florida people eating fucking faces and stuff.
I don't know. You never probably know.
I mean, listen, we've said it before and I'll say it again. All the craziest worst shit happens in Florida. I'm sorry, but it does.
Well,
Face
yeah.
eating and Uncle, you would have Turd, you would have liked it. I kind of linked it back, I think, to all the cocaine they did. That's why Florida's so fucking crazy now.
Well, you never know.
How like you've got like probably a generation of people that were born to cocaine families. That's
Yeah,
crazy. Down
There
there.
was a few.
That's why
Yeah.
face eaters.
I mean,
and-
wasn't it Freud that said every married man should do that?
what's that?
Cocaine.
Oh, cocaine.
Yeah.
Apparently, Freud was a major cokehead.
Yeah.
That's I think it's
I
documented.
mean, at one point in the 1980s, there was an entire class of a police academy. The entire cast that graduated, every single one of them was either ended up arrested for
Or murdered.
being a crooked cop, supporting the drug trade, or having been murdered. Every single one of them.
crazy.
Everyone.
Yeah.
It's a good.
I-
It's a good story.
Unreal.
It's a wild ride.
I would venture to say that there is a certain percentage.
And there's
very
more-
maybe I would say one in literally thousands that joins the police force too.
Still to this day.
Two.
Yeah. And there's
Promote
more
a
banks
drug
per
business.
capita in Florida than anywhere else in the United
Oh,
States.
is there really?
Due to the need for
Whoa,
laundering all
I
that
didn't know
cash
that.
in the 80s.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's a nice little factoid.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug, man.
Yeah, I mean, how many people, when they associate the idea with there being that many banks in Florida, are really considering how linked to cocaine that it is? I mean, we've seen the movies; they're based in reality, folks. They're not making that shit up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Many times reality's even weirder than the movies. Like, the movies will tell you a story or two, but they can't possibly cover all the fucking weirdness that went on down there.
oh,
No.
I mean,
True. Again, truth is stranger than fiction.
Yep.
especially when
And they
when-
can't tell
when-
it all in
when
the movie.
Crack came on the scene. I mean that. That's
Well,
just-
and it's been suggested that crack was introduced by the government. Is that accurate, or what? What do you
first
guys?
time I ever
certainly
heard
heard
about
that.
crack cocaine or freebasing cocaine is when Richard Pryor blew his ass up,
Yeah.
caught himself on fire.
That's when he was freebasing and it got out
I
of
mean,
hand.
it was something that I never pointed my interest towards. You know, I was more of a agricultural,
Pursuant, sure.
yeah, and well,
fine.
and a little fungus once in a while. You know,
Everybody should have a heroic dose of the fungus. That will lead to exploratory conditions beyond what regular everyday life can get you.
If the situation's right, yeah.
If the situation is right, a big mistake I know people have made throughout the decades is you go to some big awesome party and then somebody hands you like a big thing of mushrooms and you imbibe them, and that's probably not the right situation.
It's not to
you know.
say you won't have a good time.
No.
And the thing is, like, these things are dual purpose in nature. Like, you can have just like a regular like party lubricant to those type of things, but there's another side to it that allows for some other kind of very magical things to happen.
Well, yeah, Terrence McKenna suggested that everybody should try a heroic dose. I mean,
well, I'll tell you a thing about mushrooms. If you're only a few of you are doing them at the party, you're probably the only ones that are really enjoying them the way, the rest of the party is kind of not perceiving you
Sure, yeah.
the way you think
The way
you're
you're
being
perceiving,
perceived, you know.
Right.
Me personally, I think they should be used as more of a spiritual,
There you go.
Absolutely.
There
you
you
know.
go.
But you know, everybody's got their own, you know.
Well, there's a lot of corporate interest right now in microdosing and how it can create a more efficient mind. Have you heard of this, Turdman? Are you familiar with the concept of microdosing?
Yeah, and you know, I
Make sure you stay with your mic, or move it with you.
I actually heard something here in the last couple days about mushrooms. A serious dose of them would be like for cancer patients, you know, for their depression.
Help them deal with end of life issues.
And it would only you'd only have to take that one dose. And even after, you know, the initial hallucinogenic effects wear off,
You'd be more comfortable with embracing what's to come next.
the depression is a lot more easier to deal with up to like 3 and 4 months after the dose.
Absolutely,
Rob,
yes.
isn't that something that is being desplored? That's funny. Being explored by MAPS. Are they in that realm? MAPS, Turdman, if you've never heard of them, we like to talk about them here occasionally on the Good Talk. They are the Multidisciplinary Association for Psychedelic Studies. And what you have just suggested, I think, is very real. For somebody who needs to, I don't know, accept the embrace of the other
not
side.
Embrace it, but,
Well,
you know.
come to terms with it. Listen, these are medicines that can help alter how your mind will coordinate reality. And it can be very helpful for you to perceive problems or be accepting of new situations.
Well, I don't think there's, I guess, coming to terms with it, I wouldn't be the way I put it. Be more of an acceptance.
Okay.
You know.
Are we splitting hairs here?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm bald. I don't have split hairs, you know. Just because you got a full head, you know.
Well, listen, I think you would like to know these guys at MAPS, they actually just got it passed through Congress to be able to treat PTSD with what's a substance called MDMA. That's actually what commonly known on the street as ecstasy, right?
They were approved for phase 3 trials through the FDA.
Through the FDA, excuse me.
Wasn't it?
And that is a step toward perhaps getting something like what we know as psychedelic mushrooms, to be utilized in a form of mind medicine.
Yes.
I
Very important step.
I actually think there's some of that stuff going on up in Canada right now, where they use LSD and ecstasy. I've never done ecstasy. I've done the LSD back in the 70s. You know, when I was younger.
Back in your hippie seismographing days?
Pretty much.
Huh?
Yeah, it was then. Yeah.
Back when you were seeing Sasquatch footprints? When you were hanging out with Danny Green?
Well, Danny Green, yeah.
Getting rolled down hillsides in a barrel? No, that was way younger.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Yeah.
Yeah. It was.
Turdman, when he was a kid, his brother and sister shoved him in like a wooden crate barrel.
The apple barrel.
And it was an apple barrel.
The big
you
old
tell
wooden,
it.
the big
People
old
got to hear
wooden-
this. This is
the
great.
big old wooden apple barrel. You've seen them with the metal.
Stay with your mic.
rings.
Sure.
With the metal rings, yeah.
Like oak staves and a metal.
Yeah, we had found one over in, this old pile of brush one time, and we spent a few minutes rolling it up one hill, across the road, and then down. We were going to let it go down the other side. And
Yeah.
I was the youngest, so they suggested I get in the barrel, and I said no, and then it turned into...
It really wasn't an option, was it?
Yeah, it wasn't. You're going in the barrel type thing.
We were nice to give you the option, but
Yeah.
there was no option there.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Been there.
It's just,
I was the oldest cousin.
It goes with the territory. Anyway,
Oh, that's awful.
in the barrel I go down the hill, and this barrel goes about halfway down the hill. And I was probably 9, 10, and this barrel hits my little brother's wagon going down the hill.
Mhm.
Well, that wagon probably sat there on that hill for 4 years, so it was actually kind of growing into the hill.
It was like a part of the hillside at that point.
And when it hit that wagon, it was like a launch.
Oh, yeah.
Ramp. That barrel went straight out, and it was a pretty steep hill, and the barrel tipped, and I came out of the barrel, landed on my head, and rolled over and looked up, and it was a total Wile E. Coyote thing.
Yeah.
The barrel on top of me. And all I heard was my brother and sister laughing up at the top of the hill. Why I crawled on my hands and knees towards the house. Because I couldn't walk.
First time of many times he crawled home.
Yeah, no doubt. I've crawled home a time or two.
If you've ever been
rolled down a hill.
If you've ever been in that situation, you fail to see the humor.
No, I've never been the youngest, so no.
Nope, I was the oldest.
Like Reb said, I was the oldest, so I pounded on my cousins, and that's the way it was. And I'm still, in a way, sorry for it to this day. But for the most part, I think they've all turned out to be good people, and I would like to think that my sort of cruel training helped them.
It made for some strong people, no doubt.
Does that make you feel better when you put it that way? Cruel training?
No. I am completely accepting of that reality, for better or worse. It just is what it is now.
You actually plotted at times.
Sure.
Didn't you? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course.
See, me? I was always on guard for plotters such as you. So, yeah.
Okay. No, I was the plotter. I won't say like I was like, and being the plotter has absolutely been imparted on my kids.
Great.
Like Rub,
Next generation of plotters.
Rub, and we're getting close to the end here, but Rub was actually had the absolute wits scared right out of his fucking pants the other day by Tyrion, my 9-year-old.
Absolutely, I did.
What happened?
A little
we're gonna close on him fucking scaring you. Tell everybody what happened.
Well, when we first started doing this thing, I think that was around episode 5 or 6 or so. It was before we got these unbelievable new chairs.
Rub almost jumped through my fucking basement ceiling.
Yeah, I almost did. I don't, like I said, I don't have children, so I don't know that the little shits, they hide in places you don't see them. And I'm going to move the couch over so that I have a place to sit to do the podcast. And little Tyrion's hiding behind the couch. I couldn't see him. I don't know to look.
And he pops out and he makes this creep ass noise. Like he's like,
and it was
he's
like this cross between a chupacabra and a tomcat. The noise the kid made, and just I don't know to look.
I was coming
I'm not
down
on guard for that kind of thing.
No, of course not.
Children of the Corn and Lord of the Flies at once.
No, it was definitely a combination of those two.
I
So
thought for sure they had come to get me.
they had. Sometime, somewhere, they will come to get you.
I keep asking the aliens
They
to
will
come
come
and
to
get me,
get
but if
me.
they show up like that,
Well, I don't think they want to come get me because I have demands.
What if they already ditched you here?
that may be too. I'm not willing to tell you you're wrong. I think that might be sort of right.
I think I was ditched. Sometimes I think I was ditched.
I'm not from here. That's why I'm never really comfortable.
Well,
I may be
when you really break us down, we are in fact, my friends, made of the stars, and the reality is that is a brilliant thing for us to explore on another episode. We are all the same, from outside to inside,
One
the
thing.
universe, the earth, you, me, black, white. We're all the fucking same. This is a ride. That's a fucking really short paraphrase of a brilliant man, Bill Hicks, who we love and admire very much here at the Good Talk. So thank you for listening. We love you. Episode 10, Turdman. Hit us up on Twitter at the Good Talk 5 and on Facebook. Review us on iTunes. Good Talk. We love you.
Good talk.